Hello, I'm here to present a paper on the article entitled The Impacts of Organizational Learning on Company Performance, the Mediating Role of Coaching. To introduce this subject, we can say that entrepreneurship researchers have been interested in quantifying the role of coaching in learning as well as business development through a combination of funding, peer coaching, and mentoring. Coaches catalyze resource mobilization and contribute to business growth. Enterprise development is rarely a solitary journey, requiring the engagement of stakeholders with capabilities to significantly influence the development of entrepreneurial and innovation activities. A distinction can be made between resource provider, distribution partner, suppliers, including financial investors, government or government-related agencies, and universities and research institutes. The aim of this research is to answer the following question: to what extent does organizational learning following entrepreneurial coaching have an impact on performance? In this article, we will attempt to define the role of coaching in the development of entrepreneurial skills while focusing on the impact on performance. For our literature review, we'll try to define the basic notions of our article. The notion of accompaniment. The accompaniment refers to a set of shared action. These are actions of transition, journey, movement, and sharing. The process of accompaniment is based on helping people to find their way and achieve their goals. The coaching process is not just about guidance, but also about listening to people and developing their choice, support, enhancement, and service performance. A distinction can be made between individualized and group coaching. The development of the coaching process must be available to those being coached means, techniques, and methods. The support process must go beyond the transmission of knowledge and know-how to encourage the supported person to develop his or her own representation, value, and mode of operation, according to the context in which he or she is involved in. Etymologically, this notion is derived from the word companion, which refers to three meanings: a relationship whose pillars are communication, exchange, and sharing; a parity relationship; and a relationship that lasts over time. Accompaniment can therefore be defined on the basis of three dimensions: the relational dimension, the temporal dimension, and the individualized dimension. Grimaldi and Grande distinguish between 5 categories of support structures: business innovation centers, universities, technology incubators, independent private incubators, and private business incubators. We can distinguish support categories: objective, mode, and themes. First, the counseling is problem solving and crisis management. The support mode is psychological and other support session. The support theme is reflection to action and problem solving. We can also distinguish the consulting. The support objective is finding solution for specific case. The coaching based in improving individual performance. Tutoring based in acquisition of knowledge and development of the integrating company. The companionship based on the knowledge transfer. And finally, the sponsorship based on the integration into the professional world thanks to a sponsor network. In this section, we will try to analyze the relationship between entrepreneurial support and performance. According to Cuzin and Fayolle, in order to develop the skills necessary for the success of projects, entrepreneurs have to carry out multiple learning processes. Entrepreneurial coaching should focus more on the doubt phase of business. Doubt arises when the entrepreneur is confronted by realities that not conform to his initial beliefs, expectations, and ideals. Several reasons justify the doubt: the financial, personal, family, or technical aspects. The doubt is expressed according to psychological state and varies from one entrepreneur to another. Research in entrepreneurial coaching has shown the impact on the development of a new or identity for the entrepreneur. Indeed, the recognition of entrepreneur with his competencies allow him to become aware of the necessary transition and consequently to promote change management. Entrepreneurial skills are theoretical, practical, professional, and personal knowledge that project creators must have to develop their projects. COP lists 5 areas of learning: learning about individuals, entrepreneurial networking, learning about the business, learning about its environment, and finally, managing the business and its relationship. Entrepreneurial competencies can be classified into 3 essential categories: organizational development, personal development, and collective development. Firstly, organizational development. Stock and Blackburn suggest focusing on the entrepreneur as the center of analysis that contribute to the performance of his business. Cuzin and A suggest organizational variables that could affect the performance. These are the availability of monetary resource, facilities, equipment, and personnel, the existence of functional and organizational capabilities. These authors affirm the relationship of success to innovation and search for new empowerment and teamwork practices. According to Hamel and Fayolle, organizational development will have to allow access to knowledge, network, and resources necessary for the company. Secondly, the personal development. The objective of business support is to establish a link between the skills and resource held and those required by the project. 3 dimensions of personal development can be suggested. First of all, behavioral skills. This include good leadership practices, conflict resolution with the team, mastery of business meeting, and autonomy in project management. Second, emotional competencies. These are related to ability to withstand stress, self-control, self-actualization, and confidence. Cognitive competencies, these are technique and conflict resolution and negotiation, of making the right decision, of handling complex situations, and of perceiving risk correctly. And finally, the collective development. Problems of access to resources by entrepreneurs can reduce their chance of performance. According to Mouhtat, to ensure sustainability, it's crucial to identify the network that provide access to a resource. In order to sort out the information necessary for the good management of entrepreneurial acts, the entrepreneur needs information management and exploitation skill. This implies the consultation of various sources of information as well as the use of the entrepreneur relation capital. In this section, we will try to present our hypothesis. The first one, there is a causal link between the organizational development of the firm and its performance. In the majority of cases, the mortality of enterprises is due to the inadequate strategic or lack of entrepreneurial experience. The majority of research in organizational coaching has shown its impact on strategic development. Moreover, organizational coaching allows the coachee to discover their potential, gain flexibility, and finally accelerate the learning process. The second hypothesis, there is a positive correlation between the personal development of the entrepreneur and the performance of his company. The aspiration of the company are not only linked to the economic factor of profit maximization, but also the personal goals of its leader. Studies in the thousands have introduced the dimension of satisfaction, resilience, and stress management to entrepreneurial motivation. The desire of independence and the creation of one's own professional environment are also factors that contribute to the performance of the company. Coaching is a mode of accompaniment that allows the improvement of self-confidence, Several works have shown that this mode of accompaniment has the objective of making decisions easier to take. The third hypothesis, collective development, professional networking, has implications for business performance. The decision-making is linked to the capacity to exploit information. The lack of time and of qualification of the personnel are factors that influence this information bias. This factor, in addition to entrepreneurial beliefs, can lead towards biased decisions, which can have a disproportionate impact on the business, sometimes putting the survival of the business at stake. In this section, we will try to present our research methodology. In order to test our hypothesis, our methodology consists in constructing, on the basis of the existing literature, answers to the phenomenon that is the subject of the study, and to confront them with reality through empirical research by means of a questionnaire survey addressed to 339 of the companies that have gone through the coaching experience. Our methodology is quantitative analysis. The survey was carried out using a questionnaire addressed to companies that had benefited from entrepreneurial coaching, the intermediation of public, private, social, and university incubators facilitated access to our target group. The use of this instrument guarantees understanding, control, and analysis of the variables in our problem. The study uses a Likert scale. The dependent variable is business performance. The independent variable that influences the dependent variable corresponds to a post-creation coaching in organizational development, which is measured by strategic, technical, legal, and business dimensions. Personal development, which is measured by behavior, emotional, and cognitive dimensions. Collective development, that is measured by dimension of the properties of the proactive professional network, the category of network members, and the frequency and intensity of relationship between the network. The following table presents the variables of the study. The observed variables are company performance, coaching for organizational development, accounting, financing, production, human resource, progress, coaching for personal development, behavioral, emotional, and cognitive development, coaching in group development, network, and access to space equipped for collective work. The aim of this section is to present the results and analyze the hypothesis. Our model tested using the regression model. The objective is to study the links between the explanatory and explained variable. To this end, our initial analysis is presented in the following tables. The first table shows the descriptive statistic of our research model ended the results show a positive relationship between performance and the dimensions of financing, production, human resources, behaviors, and accounting. However, a negative relationship is demonstrated for the other dimensions. The results of a questionnaire of 300 entrepreneurs by Bailey, Dussault, and Lorraine confirm our results. In fact, 12 entrepreneurial skills were presented as factors of performance. It is a question of identifying the opportunities, having a strategic vision, managing times, the business network, the financial aspects, marketing, operation, human resources, laws, regulation, finally negotiate business and make decisions. This study can be summarized in 5 capabilities necessary for entrepreneurial success: cognitive, organizational, decision-making, technical, and finally the ability to identify and implement opportunities. To conclude this work, we can say that research in entrepreneurship has long recognized the role of business creation in the development of economies. But the question that persists is how to support and encourage existing business. The implementation of post-creation support is a major challenge to be met in order to allow more visibility for these companies. In this perspective, and for an increased efficiency, the support programs should be adapted to the need of entrepreneurs. Indeed, entrepreneurial coaching is an essential element that must meet the real needs of the organization. In this research, entrepreneurial coaching was analyzed as a means of personal and organizational change and of developing entrepreneurial skills of creativity and leadership. In the first part, we determined the theoretical framework of our topic to clarify the concepts of our research, namely entrepreneurial coaching in the post-creation phase, entrepreneurial skills, and their impact on business performance. Then, we defined the conceptual and methodological framework by considering 4 variables, one dependent, which is the performance. The others are independent variable, organizational, personal, and collective development. The validation of our conceptual model was done by an empirical study using a questionnaire. The data collected was quantified, analyzed using SPSS software, which allowed us to evaluate our model by looking at the correlation between the variables studied, and secondly, to analyze the importance of taking into account the development of entrepreneurial competencies in the process of post-creation coaching of companies and its impact on their performance. The results obtained were compared with the results of previous studies and allowed us to confirm 3 hypotheses, namely the correlation between the development of entrepreneurial skills and performance. In terms of the contribution of our research work, it is firstly the enrichment of the explanation of the influence of the development of entrepreneurial skills by focusing our analysis on the importance of considering this criterion in the process of entrepreneurial coaching in a post-creation phase of the company. Despite the theoretical and methodological contribution, our research work also reveals some limitation. Indeed, the analysis was more interested in theories of resources and skills without analyzing the importance of theories of the influence of the context variable on the performance. Our work therefore opens several research perspectives. It is in addition to intrinsic factors, it is necessary to analyze the dimension of the context and the environmental variables in the evaluation of the performance of the company.